Hi everyone. So now let's continue to discuss on JUnit 5 test instance lifecycle. So in this lecture we will discuss about one of the mode present in @test instance, which is nothing but lifecycle per method. So friends, in our last lecture we discussed about this mode. So we also discussed that if we don't provide this @test instance annotation on the top of the class, lifecycle per method is by default taken by the JUnit framework. So it is something like if you have created any test class and if we haven't provided this annotation, then this annotation is taken by default by JUnit 5 framework. So what happens in this mode is JUnit creates a new instance of test class before executing each test method. So here if our test class has two @test methods and we want to execute both the test methods, so what happens is as soon as we run the test class, JUnit creates new instance of test class for each and every test method. And also friends, JUnit 5 has many lifecycle methods associated with the test class. So some of the lifecycle hooks are, one is constructor and others are methods annotated with @before all, @after all, @before each and @after each. So friends, whenever we use the test instance lifecycle per method, what happens is there is a change in lifecycle behavior of a test class, and JUnit provides few of the annotations which are placed on the top of methods in a test class. So if we annotate any particular method with these annotations, and whenever we execute our test class, so these methods are called at a certain lifecycle of the test class. So these annotated methods have their own significance, which we will be discussing in our upcoming lectures. So for now, let's see that whenever we run any test class having constructor and all these four annotated methods along with @test methods, so as soon as we run the test class, first @before all annotated method gets executed. So this is a static method, and as the name suggests, it gets executed before all, and just after it gets finished. Now let's say our test class has two @test methods. So for each @test case, what happens? A new instance of test class is created. So for the first @test case, a new instance is created. Its constructor is called, that is, we have initialized this test class. And after constructor, @before each method is executed. So here @before each annotated method gets executed just before @test method. So here the name suggests that it will get executed before each test method. So this is how it got its name. And this is an instance method. So once it gets completed, then JUnit picks up the first @test method. It executes it, and once it is finished, it calls @after each annotated method, which suggests that this annotated method will be called after each @test method. So friends, once @after each gets executed, the test instance is destroyed, and then for the second @test case, a new instance is created by calling constructor, and then @before each gets executed, and then JUnit framework picks up the second @test method, and finally after each gets executed. So once after each gets completed, the second instance of test class gets destroyed, and then our execution proceeds and calls @after all annotated method. So here this is the static method which gets called after all the other methods got executed. So friends, here you can see before all and after all are static methods. So they are called before even the instance of test class is created, and after all is called after the instance of test class is destroyed. So friend, in this lecture we saw that how @test instance lifecycle per method changes the behavior of test class having constructor and few lifecycle hooks annotated with before all, before each and after each. In our upcoming lectures, we will discuss more about these annotations and its usage. I hope you like this video. Thanks, have a nice day.